Hey guys, welcome to Red's Projects. This episode, going to be working on the old Ford Ute a little bit, just doing a couple upgrades that it needs. Before I show you that, I got a package from Summit, and in that package was the shifter cover. How much better does that look? So much neater and tidier. In that same package, I got a jet kit, so when I do throw it on a dyno, I can jet it right. And my nitrous controller came in, so I can start wiring up all that shit and getting it ready to spray. But this episode, there's two major things I want to address with the car, which became obvious when I started driving it around. First one is the fuel system. If you guys already seen this thing before, you would have seen the little 10-litre fuel cell. That is just pointless. 10 litres gets you nowhere. Like if I drive to work, it basically empties it to get to work, then I've got to fill it up to come home again. I knew that was going to be the case anyway, so I kind of planned out what I wanted to do, and I've got everything I think I need. So what I'm going to do is put a big 80-litre fuel cell right at the back here, and then just have it gravity feed into the little one, and then hopefully it shouldn't be too hard to undo a couple of lines and be able to take the big tank out. So when I want to race it and when I ditch 70 kilos, I can just take the big cell out, just run a little cell, and if I need that weight in there, then I can just leave it in there. It's a tuning aid. So that's the plan. That's what I'm going to do today. And then the other thing I want to address, which I'll do later in the week, is the diff. So it's got 3/4/5 gears and it's got a factory LSD in it. I didn't know how good the LSD was. The old motor didn't have the power to spin one wheel, let alone both. But it's pretty obvious with this motor and stuff that it just does not even try to spin both wheels. It just lights up the right tire. So I'm going to put a mini spool in it, and at the same time I'm going to change the gears to 389s, 3/9 gears type thing, just to help it get off the line a little bit, and that should help it when I change the cam and heads and stuff, and I'm revving it harder. That diff gear should be better for that combo. So I'll do that later in the week, probably after work. Ryan might even come over and help out with that. But yeah, today just the fuel tank. Going to do that, and I might do some wiring later on. So yeah, let's get this done. So I'm pretty much done with the fuel cell. So like I said before, the big tank is for street driving. When I go to race it, I want to take that out, run on the little tank. So to do that, just got to take the return line off here, put it onto the little tank. Easy as that. The fuel feed line, I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking I'm going to put a quarter turn valve here, then unscrew this fitting, and this will become the breather for the little tank, and I'll either screw it into a fitting in the floor or maybe make a tank here with a breather on it. I'm not sure yet. And the breather for the big tank, same thing, I'm not sure yet. Whatever I do over that side, I'll route this into that. But that's how it's going to stay for the meantime. It looks unfinished because it's unfinished, but the main thing is I've got fuel capacity now. So I'll put about 50 litres into that. The little tank's full, that one's about half full. So I can actually get from A to B without filling up, which is awesome. So that pretty much does it for this side of the video. Later in the week we'll do all the stuff with the diff, so I'll see you soon, I guess. Alright guys, I'm back. Now, I know I said I was going to be doing the diff, but I've had some issues and some problems to work through the last couple of weeks. Alright, so the first problem I had was that dash 10 line that I ran from the big tank to the little tank. It was just a rubber hose with the push lock dash 10 fittings. They were just like weeping or leaking a little bit. So long story short, I ended up taking all that back and replacing it all with braided lines, but like the soft braided lines, not the stainless braided lines. So I'll show you that in a second. It's all really nice and it's all finished now, which is really good. So see, it looks much better now. Got the 100 series, got that. I P-clamped it all to the floor. I've got a shut-off valve, so I can open and close fuel flow to this guy. That makes it good for when I want to take this tank out. I just shut this valve off and then run the pump for a little bit. The fuel returns into here, the level drops down a little bit in there, and then I can disconnect this and just take this whole thing out. Also got a dog bowl as well, stop it splashing and running oil up the side. And the breathers, I ended up for the little tank, just ran a dash 6 line all the way along, all nicely P-clamped and stuff, and then dumps down here behind the wheels. So if anything were to come up this line, it's behind the wheels and it's not going to put me into the wall. And then the tank for the street, I've actually got a rollover valve in it and then a couple loops and then just through the floor, which is still behind the axle, but doesn't matter so much for the street stuff. But this is all done. This is nice and tidy. This is how I kind of first pictured it, so I'm happy with how this has turned out. Alright, so second issue is I don't have reverse at the moment. Now, the last videos you've seen of me putting the tank in the back, I was reversed into the shed. After I finished that, I turned the car around, went nose in, and I was doing some wiring and bits and pieces. Then after that, there was a bunch of cars out here, a few friends and family come over, so there's nowhere to turn around. So I reversed down my driveway, did a 3-point turn, reversed back up the driveway, nearly got to where I parked the car, and it went to neutral. Checked over fuses and stuff, it blew the fuse. Put another fuse in, it blows it instantly. So I went over all the wiring, made sure nothing is like rubbed through anywhere or anything stupid like that. Check the resistance on the trans brake solenoid and it's like a dead short. There's no resistance, it's burnt out. So I don't know if I just held it on for too long. I don't know how long is too long. So I've got a new trans brake solenoid that's on its way from Summit. That should be here next week. That kind of sucks because I really want to drive the car and not having reverse. You don't realize how much you reverse until you have to push it. And yeah, it's just a pain to drive at the moment. So it's been sitting here for a little while. I've taken it for a few little drives, but I'm really looking forward to getting reverse again because one of the main things is I want to be able to reverse onto the dyno. So I don't want to push it onto the dyno. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting reverse back. The third issue is this bloody diff in this car. Now, it's factory fitted with the Hydra-Track LSD. There's not much info on them. They're kind of pretty rare. They're not that great either. I was just Googling it. I was trying to get some pictures because I remember picturing the insides of them and them being real wacky. And I was trying to find some pictures to show some other people. And I come across someone that mentioned that the axles were different for the Hydra-Track LSD. And I'm like, oh, well, shit, that's going to stuff up my plans. So through the week, I pulled the right-hand axle out just to have a look to see what the deal was. The right-hand one looked pretty normal. It was 28 spline. I don't know if the length was right or not. I didn't bother measuring it because I don't know what's meant to be right. And then today I pulled the left-hand axle out to have a look, and it's got 2 splines. I'm going to show you a picture of this. It's got 28 spline, and then it steps down to something smaller. I didn't bother counting. I was just kind of heartbroken at that point. That means the internet was right, and the axles are different, and supposedly they're different lengths, and it's all just, yeah, a pain in the ass. What I'm going to do is just try and find another single spinner diff that's the same as this one out of an XG, and then I'll just build that from scratch. I've got all the bearings, I've got the gears, I've got the mini spool center. I'll just build it all, have all new fresh stuff in it, and then just swap the whole diff over. So for the moment, I'm stuck with this diff, but that's fine, I guess. All right, so there's 3 issues that have been stuffing me up for the last couple of weeks. It's a bit unfortunate about the diff because I wanted to change the diff ratio before I put it on the dyno, just so between now and the future I don't have any the ratio affecting power or torque output or anything like that. It'll all be the same, but that's not going to happen. It's probably going to take me a while to source a diff and build it and stuff, so that's a in the future issue for me. Next thing I'm going to be doing is wiring up the nitrous completely, and then after that there's nothing stopping me from putting on the dyno. Then over Christmas I'm going to do some upgrades to that LS1 up front. I've got a nice big cam for it, I've got some ported heads and a few other bits and pieces, so once I do that I'll dyno it again. We'll get a good comparison, NA, you know, between stock and heads and cam, and then probably spray 100 shot on both combos and compare those power figures. That should be interesting. But yeah, plenty of stuff happening in the future, just the last couple of weeks haven't gone well. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.